Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video here on the channel. Hope you guys are all having a great day. So this video I should have done a while ago, but it really struck me yesterday because I spent about 4 hours in a league chat teamless, helping people out with their bases and answering questions on why my base is set up like this. Because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that I used to have a different setup. I used to have the same the same length, but the towers were a different placement. I had more towers. I had a little bit more defense power, and people were wondering why in the world did I change. So I want to go and cover that in this video. I literally spent 4 hours talking about it. I was like, okay, well, maybe I should just make a video and, do just tell people, hey, check out the video if you want to, because, yeah, whatever. So I want to go over, sorry if it's a little bit long. I just want to make sure that I cover everything. I'm going to explain every single placement of all these towers, why it's in there, why it's not, and all that jazz. So let's start out with the first one, okay? Why should you use this base? Because you will. Trust me when I say, if you have a long base, and this is for level 100 and 100 really plus, okay? I skipped a part of the series, because I want to get this out ASAP, but levels 40 to around 100 is a different setup, which I'll show in a different video. But this base is more complex. So just so you guys know, alright, basically the purpose of this base is for defending, okay? This really is successful with defenders. That's when you're really going to shine. As well as you're going to lose a lot of defense power. If you have to shorten up every single, oh my, everyone's streaming. If you have to shorten up if you have to remove all your islands, you will lose a lot of defense power. I lost about half of mine, just by doing this. But this base has taken out an Emerald Necrix and a Garnet Canaris Dragon on the same attack, and Necrix set it up. An Emerald Necrix, guys. And he's like, mine, for example, is 113,000. Sorry, 113 million. It's pretty crazy. So that just goes to show how much more powerful this is. So just so you understand, it's not like a joke or whatever. So let's start out, alright? This first island people don't understand. Why in the world did you have a bunch of level 1 towers? Aren't you going to give them rage? So the purpose of this island, it's called a Rage Drain Island. And basically the reason why you have it set up like this is so a defender can click on 2 of the mages. I really do not suggest hitting 3, because you want to save your super shots. Because if you're not defending your own base, you only get 5. So you want to be very conservative. But basically what you have is you have these 2 in the back, which is what you always want to super shot. Tell your teammates, if you can, if you're a leader, I would suggest sharing this video. Like, not to give myself views or anything like that, but this can make your teammates' bases a lot stronger, especially for wars. So you have these right here, right? This is the ones that you want to target first. Use your super shots on these 2, because there's no possible way, no matter what, that they are going to be able to kill these towers, these 2, or any of these before it gets the super shot off. There's no possible way. People were trying the other days, trying to just, prove that I was wrong. No one was able to do it. And I mean, like, literally probably 100 people attacked my base. You can ask the league chat about that. Borgin came in with White Lightning. Couldn't take it out in time. So as long as you guys use a super shot on these, there's no way that they can kill it. So if you have the research done, so where it takes 2 rage, that's 4 rage that they don't have, and they lost, on top of whatever spell they tried to use, if they used any, and also they're not going to be gaining rage. And that's why it's so super strong. And the reason why, and people didn't understand, why not put like a super high level red mage here, or a blue mage? So just in case they, can one-shot it, why not do that? The purpose of having level 1s is literally because of the sand. Desiccating sand. I'm trying to say it right, because whatever. Desiccating sand, okay? If it is a low-level Necrix, someone did this on my base, by the way, guys. That's the reason why I'm very, very, I stress this a lot. A low-level Necrix, what they can do is they can come in with a level, let's say they have a level 16 red mage right here. They can sand it. It doesn't kill, and he can kill the rest of them, right? But only leave that one. And when the next attacker comes, he can just leave this red mage right here and just let it sit there and slowly fly by and gain rage and then kill it at the last second. See, so they can use that to gain rage. The entire reason of having a short base is so they can't have a lot of rage. So if they're able to do that, it kind of defeats the purpose of having this base. As well as, on that same token, never ever build a perch on this island. That is my, like, I swear guys, don't build a perch on this island. Even if it's a super high level perch, don't do it. It's not worth it. Because again, what they can do is I do this in wars a lot, because I do see a lot of people who have these like level 2 perches sitting here, and they might have a rage drain island, but as a secondary attacker, all I have to do is just tank it out and kill it at the last second and gain a ton of rage for free. So don't build a perch, right? So that's the purpose of this rage drain island. Why it's level 1, why it works. Always hit the back 2. You can hit the front 3, but only ever use 2 super shots. There's no possible way for them to kill it, no matter what they do. There's no spell in the game. Though I would say, try and get the blue mages in the front, these 2, just in case thunderstorm. Just in case it glitches, because you can actually hit thunderstorm right here sometimes. Like when you're turning the corner right here, and they can't see you, and you can actually tap it, and it will take out the towers. So yes, it's possible for them to do that, but no, it's very, very difficult to do that. So I would be highly doubtful that that's the case. Okay, so that is the first island. Now this is basically the only island that actually really has towers on it. Okay, so I want to explain this island right here and why it's set up, because each of these towers are in its place for a reason. So blue mage, the reason why it's in the front and why it should always be in the front is because spells like thunderstorm, like seething spark, they can be used no matter where you are. They can be used if your blue mage is right here. You can time it right, barely, and actually use the thunderstorm as you're turning the corner, even though there's a blue mage sitting right there because of how big its range is. It can't cover it. So that's why you always want to make sure that it's in the front. Now, some people argue that putting it right here is better because because technically speaking, its range is hitting exactly where the dragon is. But the reason why I have it here is because, again, there is a glitch where you can hit it like really, really early, and it actually still works and can take out the towers. But if a blue mage is right here, it can't, because its area of effect is taking care of that dragon. So that's why you always want to have it in the front of your base, so they can't use Seething Spark. Same thing applies to that, as well as Thunderstorm. Dark Flag should always be in the front, simply because it normally will be people's highest tower. This is such an insane tower, guys. Seriously. It's so OP because of the amount of damage it does. It's crazy. And it deals increased damage with Super Shot, and it stuns dragons temporarily. Like, overall, it has a lot of potential in terms of, it has a lot of different, what do you call it? A lot of uses. There's a word that I'm looking for, I can't remember exactly what it is. But it has a lot of beneficial things that it can do. It has a stun and insane damage. And that's why I don't use a fire turret anymore. Those basically allow them to gain rage. And I'll explain that at the end of the video, because this will be a longer video, guys, but it's pretty important. I just want to make sure you guys understand everything. So yeah, this should always be in the front because its range is quite short, so he's not going to be able to shoot too fast. Because if you have it right here, people are going to target, if they're smart, the Dark Flag first. After the mages, of course, but after that, the Dark Flag should always be your first priority unless you have a resist, or if you have Necrix, which is Elemental Barrier. In that case, it should be cannons if it's defended. So yeah, that's why you never put it in the back. You always want it in the front. That also makes it so, especially when it's a higher level, it might have a little bit more HP than other towers, so therefore, most likely they're going to have to take a lot of time trying to kill it, and it's going to be wasted. Because it might have a little bit more HP. So again, it's just these small things, but it adds up over time. So the red mages should always be in the middle of your island. The reason why is because simply its like area of coverage will not, if it's in the middle or any of the corners, it will not cover the tower that is at the exact opposite end of the island. So right here, it will cover this blue mage, this ice turret, the storm, and the Dark Flag, but it will not cover the blue mage. So therefore, someone can just use Death Gaze or any other spell that can one-shot or do a ton of damage, and it's a red spell, on this and not be affected by it, basically. So that's why you always want to have it in the middle, so it can have complete coverage and you're not wasting its ability. Now here's what I was asked this quite a lot. Why in the world do you not have your Storm Tower over here so it's protecting your blue mage? So the reason why it's over here is because of this. This is a huge damage deal. This will two-shot most dragons if it's boosted up with attack power plus a super shot. If it's a super high level, it will two-shot dragons very easily. But it might not. It doesn't have as much health as other as other buildings. So you look right here. Health is 1.87 million. No, stop. This is 1.56 million. So it's a little bit more. I must have done my math wrong. But basically, beside the point, you want to try and protect your dark flag as much as possible. So that's why you have a storm tower here, because most likely, if you have a defender that's smart, I'm going to do a video on how to defend bases, by the way, pretty soon, because it is very important. They're going to hit this. So while they're trying to kill this, because everyone's going to focus on the dark flag first. It's just a natural instinct due to the amount of damage it does. Instead of focusing on the storm tower, the storm tower is going to be protecting the dark flag, and they're going to waste a ton of ammo while they're just getting pelted one by one and being taken out. And the dark flag is really what kills dragons the majority of the time. And finally, the ice turret. Again, ice turret has a lot of beneficial things that it can do. It slows dragons' attacks, it shields allies, it does a pretty good amount of damage, and it's continual damage as well. So overall, it's a pretty useful tower to have. It's supposed to heal, actually, but it doesn't. Still PG, so they can't get that right. Dang it, I shouldn't be negative. No, but PG, please fix it, though. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, overall, it's just a really nice tower to have because it does insane amount of damage. So yeah, this is called the Kill Island. Once you build this base, the only things that you should be leveling up are these 5 towers. Nothing else. I'm going to show you an example of a perfect base at the end in a team called Arya. But you only want to focus on these 5 towers. If you do, even Necrixes won't be able to take it out. Because once he has no rage with this Rage Drain Island, he can't use Elemental Barrier. And if he can't use Elemental Barrier, he's very susceptible to these because he doesn't have a resist. So yes, this can still kill Necrixes even though he has that Elemental Barrier. Now without this Rage Drain Island, he can still get Elemental Barrier off before these can use their super shots. So that's the reason why you really, really need a Rage Drain Island these days. Okay, so only level up these 5 towers, and that's it. You will become very, very strong for your level. Now, this final island right here, in my opinion, for Necrix especially, all you really want is you want a cannon tower for sure, no matter what. Just in case, you have a defender that knows what he's doing and uses its super shot to take out the elemental barrier, which it can do, by the way, then that's a very good option. But also, you want to make sure that you have a red mage and a blue mage, especially a blue mage. The purpose behind that is so they can't use cloak after they kill this blue mage right here, and always put it in the front. Because if you do that, then they can't use cloak on those other islands, and therefore it prevents a lot of damage to your base. And then the other ones can really be whatever you want. I would suggest having a red and blue mage either way, just for the protection, as well as this is more these 2 towers right here. So these 2 right here can be really what you want. I kept this on just so I could keep some of my defense power because, as you guys can see, it drops pretty significantly without that. And also, again, it does its same amount of damage anyway, so it's worth it. But again, I would always suggest having a blue mage and a cannon tower just against Necrixes specifically, because that's why I see what is backing up a lot of islands these days. And again, you can worry about runes if you want. There's not that many runes for these towers, to be honest, except for the cannon towers and storm. So other than that, you can't really do too much, but yeah, it's just whatever for the runes. Okay, so your last island. Now this island, people are very curious about. Why would you have these on this island instead of in the back? The purpose behind having it right here is because of the perch. If you put a legendary warrior on the perch, or a mythic is even better, but most people don't have mythic dragons. A good amount of people have mythic dragons, but some people don't. So if you don't have it, don't use it, but use at least a legendary dragon, because it increases the HP of the towers that are on this island. So basically, really guys, once you reach a certain point, farms just become so hard to kill. So increasing their HP by that much, and 30%, I believe, is the amount of HP it gains. 30% of the amount of HP this guy has already, which is... Oh, did I even show you? Seriously? Wait, it doesn't even show you. Okay, well, never mind. It's a lot. It's a lot of HP. Um, they just don't die, and so many times it comes down to farms in war attacks. Now, the purpose of having a red mage, this doesn't have to be a super high level. This is for, let's say you have an attacker who gets really far, right, and they take out all these buildings right here, except for, let's say, the storm tower, and the guy swaps, and then secondary attacker comes in, and he has a ton of time to gain rage. All you have to do is hit the super shot on this guy, and he's back to no rage again. So they can't use Death Gaze and whatever spells they need to be able to take it out. And again, you can keep spamming repairs, guys. It's so funny to see people fail war attacks just because of farms. Like, they're so freaking annoying, to be honest, but they're really, really useful on defense. As well as, not to mention, another thing is that between these islands, there's not enough time to gain enough rage to use some spells. So let's say they have Southern Cross, for example, because Jewel has it now. Where is he? Right here. Jewel has a spell that can one-shot a lot of things with 3 rage. Well, let's say he has no rage, and he gets hit by a super shot, and he's flying by. If you have your farms back here, he's going to have so much time to gain rage. Instead of him flying about 4 meters to here, turning the corner, and then he has no rage to try and kill these, 20 million HP buildings that are so hard to take out, right? It's just so difficult. So that's why you have this island right here, and that's why it's put right here. You don't necessarily really have to boost. This is just a side if you want to save, if you're free to play especially. Personally, for me, that's not a problem, but it is for some. If you don't buff the attack power of these towers, because it literally does nothing. So if you want to save those for like your other places and all that, it's again, in this way it's really efficient on these boosts because you're only using 2 monuments instead of 20. So yeah, I think that is about it, to be honest. I'll show you guys really quickly. Someone who I would highly suggest checking out in terms of how good this base is. So if you go to Arya, and you go down here, and you go right here, and you say Coach J-Pop. You'll notice he's a level 182. All right, 182. But he has 50 million defense power. This guy is pretty strong because he's built his base up really well. In fact, actually, and I didn't even realize this, but we have exactly the same base layout. Well, no, actually, no, we don't. We have it. This base is different, as well as he has all level 1s. Okay, cool. So basically, other than that, we have the exact same layout. But he started doing this way before I did, and you'll notice, guys, he has level 19, 15, 25, 26 towers. But this right here just doesn't die. These are all level 45 or around 45. It's crazy. These will not die in wars. So yeah, this is how it's a good strategy, because this doesn't work. Like, this works every single time, and most likely you'll have a hunter. Yep, legendary warrior kaiju. Without a one-shot capability, they're not killing those farms. So yeah, so honestly, I think that is about it. I know it was a little bbit longer, I do apologize, but I think it's definitely worth my time to do this because it does seem a lot of people need help building their base. So if you have any other questions on why I did a certain thing or whatnot, definitely let me know down in the comments. If you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, or whatever, definitely message me in game. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.